Isn't he Mexican?
Colombian.
He calls himself American.
What is this?
Anchor Baby.
And in this corner, it's the American Anchor Baby.
Daddy's home. That's an offensive term. People find that hurtful.
You mean it's not politically correct? Excuse me. I'll use the word anchor baby. No, he's an anchor baby in Canada.
Tell him we still rolling with Trump, too.
Anchor baby, the whole thing sounds horrific. You're just making it sound like immigrants are these horrific, greedy people.
Ustedes pueden aceptar mi negocio o aceptar las consecuencias. Plata o plomo.
So you would be considered white, in my opinion.
You the blackest one in this room,
I think so.
And what happened was his mama got pregnant on the other side of the border. And then a few hours before, just before it was time for him to pop out, she jumped across the border and let him fall on American soil. So he became the anchor baby. They don't call him the anchor baby for nothing. Amazing.
We like this anchor baby.
What the? There's something definitely wrong with that intro. It's cutting all weird. But this is my show, and I'm the American Anchor Baby, and I'm on the air, and I'm live right now on this fine Wednesday, Tuesday. How you doing, everybody? Thanks for tuning into the show here. American Anchor Baby, I got a bit of a show for you here. You heard about the Supreme Court stuff. Kind of stealing. Well, not stealing. He was first. Hake was first. A couple of the same topics here on the Supreme Court and Trump and the saga. A couple of things I want to go a little deeper on, maybe. But I want to mention those things I've been thinking about. We'll get into that. Some other things. Another Oliver Anthony. Could it be another Oliver Anthony? What was the consensus on that guy? You guys like him? I remember his song. That guy with the beard, the red-haired guy or whatever, with the beard and the guitar and singing, and he touched a lot of people. We'll be getting into a couple of things here, okay? 888-775-3773. You want to call in, jump on the air there. Talk to the host here. Welcome, everybody, on YouTube, rumble.com/American Anchor Baby. You can follow me those places. Support, like, subscribe. If you don't like what you see, leave a comment. But you already heard about this. Probably even on my show a little bit yesterday with a caller in the Supreme Court versus Texas in this long-standing saga that's actually started a while ago. Multiple court battles and all that. It's gone all the way to the Supreme Court. Nobody cares. Nobody cares for the Americans. Nobody cares for the children. Nobody cares about the children, the girls. Nobody cares about the women. These are the people that are important, right? Guess what? They don't even care about them. The Supreme Court has shown they don't care about the ladies. They don't care about the blacks. They don't care about the Mexicans that are here. You know, they got here and they called base. Base. You can't touch me. They don't care about any of them. The Supreme Court, you heard about this already, or in this legal battle that got to them, 5-4 vote granted an emergency request filed by the Biden administration, which argued that Texas was preventing agents from carrying out their duties. This centers around the border, and they had installed this razor wire to keep out the illegals, okay? And this saga goes back a bit, but the news here really is a win for the Biden administration, as some are calling it. I've seen some talking heads. And it's a funny thing to call a win, right? It's a win for the Biden administration. Right on, Biden administration. Put that in your list of accomplishments and wins. Some already know the ridiculousness of that, but we're going to try and point out the obvious for those that don't know, maybe. Maybe even find a little insight in the whole thing. 5-4 vote. Granted an emergency request here. This emergency request, the Biden administration said it's an emergency. You got to let our agents carry out their duties. And this razor wire and all this stuff that you're trying to do over there, Texas, you're in our way. The brief order noted that 4 conservative members of the 9-justice court would have rejected the government's request. They were Clarence Thomas, Samuel Alito, Neil Gorsuch, and �𝒊𝒂𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔. You know what's really interesting about this is I can't find anywhere. Where's the dissent? Where's the meat of the whole thing here? You know, these Supreme Court judges, the justices, they write out their dissents and they show their work. You know what I mean? They show their work a little bit here. Now, what is the reasoning here? Why did they dissent? What was the basis of the agreement? Now, obviously, what is obvious here is that they sided with the Biden administration here. They sided with the feds, saying, yeah, well, it is the feds' duty and you're in their way. White House spokesperson on Monday said Texas political stunts, like placing razor wire near the border, simply make it harder and more dangerous for frontline personnel to do their jobs. Ultimately, we need adequate resources, policy changes, you need money, you need everything but dealing with the border. And when they say personnel, they're in our way for our personnel to do their jobs. They're making it difficult for our personnel to do their jobs. I mean, when they say that, they're just talking about this. They're talking about this. Okay, let me show you here. They're talking about this.
2 years old.
This is their job. This is what's making their jobs difficult. And I'm sure you've seen this. I'm sure you've seen some of this where these are like what? Migrant mothers, they call them. Illegal alien, right? Trying to cross through the razor wire here using the cardboard. If you're just listening, using cardboard to circumvent the razor wire. She's holding her little baby, her little niña. She's holding her, I'm sure some of them are fine people. She's holding her little niña who's getting caught up in the razor wire here. And she's crying and they're come on. You can make it. And so that's what they mean when they're saying, oh, you're making our job difficult. All this razor wire is making it difficult to process these new Americans. So what is going on, really, the battle? It's funny when you I got to point this out, though. My mind won't let me not point it out. My ego won't let me. It's really easy to come over, right? You guys get that, right? This without the razor wire, what it would look like is just them going right up to a border patrol, a cop, and saying, base, home base. I had a neighbor once who would tell me who was an illegal. And he told me about how the harrowing trip, the journey to America when crossing illegally. There's a huge swath of land you got to cross, or you used to have to cross this, is what I heard. And it was difficult. Many would die on their way. And so the culture, there was some people who would go to this area and leave water bottles and stuff like that, as you may have heard on the Hake Report. But what's going on here is when you read the legal battle itself, because it centers around immigration, the border, and Texas and all that. But the legal battle, the words and what the courts are fighting about is, well, the feds are saying, well, that's our job. It's our job to handle the border and all that. And so you're out of your jurisdiction. And Texas is saying, well, no, you're trespassing. That's Texas land, and you're actually so it's like this legal battle. If you were to just read that, it would be devoid almost of the issue at hand. It's kind of an interesting thing to, maybe it's normal. I'm not a lawyer, but it's devoid of the issue at hand, which those are really just proxies for the border's not secure. This is criminal. If we're getting legalistic about it, Article 4, Section 4, the United States shall guarantee to every state in this union a republican form of government and shall protect each of them against invasion. And it sure looks like one, doesn't it? It really is. Just a little constitution for you. So, the saga goes back a bit. They called it Operation Lone Star. And Abbott, the governor of Texas, has been fighting the federal government for a bit now. you could say even way before Operation Lone Star, because this mess with the border has been going on way before that. But they put a name to their fight here, Operation Lone Star, and it started off with a number of things, including like going against the federal government and trying to build some border, putting up the buoys, the evil, dangerous buoys, these floating balls in the river to stop people from crossing. Now the razor wire. And so this has been going through the courts, right? Lower courts, finally the Supreme Court. The whole thing with the buoys might go to the Supreme Court. Like, it's just a continued fight, right? I don't know what to tell you. The busing of these people deeper into the country. It's the effects of Operation Lone Star. I mean, I don't know. Since then, I've been dubious. What do you guys think? So far, what's been done? So they bust them around. They got people mad. And Eric Adams in New York is saying, okay, you know what, federal government, no more. So that's something. But at the same time, you're busing them deeper into the country and everywhere, and they're never leaving. So that's kind of equals out. And what's the net gain there? More immigration, more nothing fixed. The wire, this razor wire, like, do they have the razor wire all across the border? Like, where do they have it? I keep seeing pictures. It looks like the same patch of dirt. I know I sound ignorant, but it looks like the same patch of dirt when you hear about this continued fighting. And I'm seeing Abbott, they're saying this is not over. They're going to keep the razor wire up. They're going to duke it out. And this continued fighting sometimes could be a cover, but I'm just not sure. I can't be sure. I can't tell you with certainty. I'm seeing reports they'll maintain the wire and all that. And Operation Lone Star continues. But it's a mess. The conservative Supreme Court justices, I know you know this, they say they're conservative, not so much. You know, and I saw Amy, when I saw Amy Coney Barrett, when she was being sworn in and they were fighting and saying, no, she's no good, I knew that didn't she cry for George Floyd? Did she cry for Floyd? I know she was talking about how, didn't she adopt, like she adopted like a black child and was basically telling America how she has to she has to reconcile this whole George Floyd business with her black kid. And that to me, when I saw all that, she has these kids and she has a husband and she's a Supreme Court justice. It's young kids too, if I remember. Oh no, they might be old. Just scratch that part. Don't worry too much about that part. But when I saw that, I knew that she wasn't for what's right. And you just can't be. And I left some room there. You know, I cut it some slack because, you know, I thought to myself, well, I don't know her heart. And she may be a net positive. And, you know, Trump picked her. And it's just how it's going to go. But as the years go by here, life keeps us proving it more for me. You know, women can't run this, okay? Now, it's like, if we had a gauntlet where we put a justice, and it's a female justice, for some reason we just had to, and we had a gauntlet of questions, it could be that a woman in this position could do well. But you understand, more often than not, they're not for what's right. And it was clear, if you don't even understand that part, the order, and you don't see the proof for that, the proof was in her responses there. It wasn't just what happened with the whole George Floyd thing and crying about racism and any crap with your kid. You're just not about what's right. So anyways, that's what went down with Amy Coney Barrett, the conservative female Supreme Court justice. But you know who dissented with her was a male. A male. It's all about the heart. It's a male. What's his name? What do they call him? Which one was it? The RINO. See, I don't know too much about him. Roberts. But I heard he's a RINO. As far as I'm concerned, this is proof. Justice Roberts. Conservative. So that's the saga, okay, with the Texas and and the federal government and the mess. It's just really, who cares? Nobody. The Supreme Court doesn't care. The government, the federal, nobody cares about Americans. It's not just economic and it's not just economic and a matter of not liking brown people or something ridiculous. It's just wrong to the American people. All completely diluting and undoing America for the pockets of corporations and that their illegal work. It's very positive for them. It lines their pockets. Okay, the labor that comes over there, firms, government, and politicians who they're also it lends to them as well. Changing of the demographics, voting. It's truly evil. Cry, cry, cry. Everything's so bad. I talked a little bit about Sean Strickland yesterday. Sean Strickland, UFC fighter. You know him a little bit. I mentioned him yesterday. You know, he fought He fought 𝒏𝒊𝒂𝒒𝒂𝒍𝒔. I've seen some of you UFC announcers and people that call him 𒒏💊💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂💂 yesterday or over the weekend. Honestly, don't know. I know Sean lost. I heard he lost. I think he did. It's on his Twitter. He's posting his busted eye. It's all cut up. Who knows? Who's the UFC people in the chat? You guys know? He's saying he knows. He's saying we all know I won. The reason why it wasn't one-sided for 5 rounds is the headbutt took my eye. They're saying it's controversial. They're saying he's claiming a headbutt. It was a headbutt that gave him this nasty injury during this fight with �𝒂𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔. That's a French name, no? It's Duplessis. And so he's making claims about that. Who are the UFC people in the chat? You think he got robbed? What do y'all say? Duplessis. I mean, last names have they're almost not yours. You're not your last name. You're not your name. But your last name is not yours. Sure, you could pronounce it however you want. And you could be your own man. But Duplessis. It's a French name. Duplessis. It's a French ad name. Heard he lost his eye. Not he lost his eye, but he lost the match. Sean Strickland posted something, though. And I wanted to show you this, okay? Speaking a little bit about what's going on here, the feds, Supreme Court, nobody cares. Who cares about America? Americans, nobody does. And so a lot of people are desperate, okay? They're feeling desperate. Is Sean Strickland a little desperate? Let me show you a video here that he posted on his own Twitter. X.com, fine. We'll call it X. Where is the video? Here it is. Let's watch Sean Strickland. Here's what he posted. I'll just show you the video. Might as well. Look, I like the guy, but let me just play it. Sean Strickland. Oh, let me turn it up here a little bit. Boom.
We live in a matrix where, like, society actively tries to numb you. They actively try to say, hey, when you wake up at 4 in the morning and you have to go lay rebar in LAX and you don't make enough money, even though you work an 8-hour job with overtime, you don't make enough money to raise a family. So guess what? Now your wife also has to work a job. And don't worry, the school system will raise your kids. And all while they do that, they beat you into the fucking dirt, and they say, hey, but you know what? You could try this new vodka, Jack Daniels. It's fucking great. Goes down smooth. And it's so difficult in life not to want to reach towards, even if it's a social media addiction, even if it's a sex addiction. It's so difficult in life for the average man to go work his ass off, come home, and still not have enough. And all you got to do is take a drag, take a hit, take a drink, And for that split moment, the worries go away.
Yep.
It's such a fucking struggle.
It's a struggle. Who's relating? Jack makes vodka? Music in the background, LOL, says Jessica. You're not, what's wrong with the music? You don't feel inspired. Sad face piano. Well, he ate wrong, says Lord Bibby. I mean, I understand. I see he's definitely hitting. Some of you are saying he ate wrong. Strickland got hit with Tim Scott's gums, says Lolo. Baldman says Dreykus won. And we all know South Africa ain't the same as Senegal or Nigeria. Just putting that out there. Thank you, Baldman54. Because society, nobody's beating me into the dirt. Life is great. I don't know what he's talking about. LOL, says Kevin Howe. 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, says Seasal. Novella. Did you see the video of Sean Strickland crying about his mama getting beat up? What are you talking about? You gotta send that to me. Pronto. Steve. And look, anybody getting, Oliver Anthony vibes? Kind of reminds me a little of that Oliver Anthony guy. And I know a lot of people relate. And it's like Sean Strickland is clearly speaking to people, I think. It speaks to a desperation, for sure. A desperation. And I don't necessarily believe Sean Strickland is necessarily this, but he's speaking to this desperation, but we need like a cool-headed boss that can deal with situations and may even be an example that can show you that, yeah, you can deal with situations. There is a way. You can't just say no. And I really like him. I do. I really do. This is really not like, how do I explain how I see him? Like, I see the video like this, and I'm sorry, I don't have this one bleeped. And I know the sun is out. I don't have this video bleeped, and I know he swears, and I forget where he swears or how much. And the sun is out, and the bambinos are out, but cover their little ears, okay? And because I see a video like this, if you remember yesterday, I showed you that video where he's talking to that Canadian reporter, and he's standing up for the people. He's saying, he was standing up for himself there because they were trying to be little media journalists, weirdos, and try and do a little gotcha. But that's what they do with the people. And when I see a video like this, this one I saw just the other day, kind of the same vibe. I really appreciate him. Okay, there's a lot of people like you got to understand this a little bit. We're talking a little bit about standing up for America and who's doing that, and in Canada too a little bit. The West, they're the brothers. Okay, look, I have a heart in my place for them. I grew up there.
But when have you ever seen a UFC champion, George St. Pierre, or anybody else stick up for...
George St. Pierre is a Quebecois, French-Canadian, right?
You fucking guys.
Standing up for the Canadians.
I do it. I am not chasing the Chinese check mark of Nike. I don't give about that. I care about you guys.
And it could be a little, you could say maybe it's ego, maybe whatever, but I really do think he's a guy who's not in the Chinese pocketbook or whatever he's talking about. He's like, he really is like an individual. When you compare, if we're comparing here, men and all that. So I really appreciate him. And I think he means that about free speech and the Canadians. But yeah, women work, Sean Strickland. But who did that? How did that happen? The whole story, women are working. And he was making some good points, right? Women are working. Then now she has to go. You're trying to take care of your kids, and then you have to send them to school. The whole story is, well, man turned from God. It resulted in angry women raising angry beta males. I know that's quite a summarization. I know it's quite a summarization. 888-775-3773 if you have questions. But, that's kind of closer to the whole story, right? And they send them to school. Well, these mothers are sending them to school. There's the part of ego where you want too much. It's not the same America. It's kind of horrible to say, but You don't get the same American dream, but you could still defend your children. You may not have the same stuff in the American dream. What a shame. And what a shame that has been pilfered by greedy people. But at the same time, you can still protect your kids. There have been drugs for a long time. There have been drunks and addicts and deranged people. Right? It's the Bible. And just as much, I think, as there's been men who work hard, sacrifice for their family, and they drink and they smoke, but they got it handled. I'm not saying that's good, and I don't really think you can handle those things. That's kind of a wrong way of even putting it. It's spiritual. All things are spiritual. And it's a folly to think that you can handle, anger and vices. But what I mean by that is that there was a self-control. There was a sort of kind of a overarching self-control that kind of kept men in line. And so that also existed, John Strickland. I guess I'm not making a point. You follow me a little bit here? I'm just trying to say that something that he may have even already know, but maybe didn't express. But just like how he described being angry growing up, I was telling you this yesterday. He had this Nazi granddad or something like that. And he thought he hated everyone, but he started fighting, and that made him calm. He found a relief. He found a relief from the thoughts and the emotions. The anger would still be there outside the ring, but that is the exact same spirit. The exact same spirit. That was Sean Strickland was going through there. It's the exact same spirit with these beta males, with these people, the drugs, and you just need relief. And you come home and everything's wrong and the TV and you're addicted to sex and you got the music in the background. So it's not, maybe they did him wrong. He posted it on his own X.com and maybe they did him wrong and they put the music and made it look worse. But anyways. You know what I'm saying here? Tell me I'm lying. What was I saying here? Sean Strickland, hate speech isn't real. So I appreciate him. He says in this post, though, the same post I showed you with the music. Oh, the music. He writes here in this post, I can't turn it off, LOL. F thoughts, go away, LOL. Like, God, I can't get rid of these thoughts, he says. Just a little interesting little thing here. It's kind of I know somebody whose wheelhouse is the thoughts business. And it's just a little funny thing here. It says, F thoughts, go away. He strikes me as someone who, all people deal with thoughts, but he strikes me as one of these, I don't know, like some kind of fighter type dude. And it's just all I do is fight. And when I'm in the ring, it's everything's clear. But outside, life's a mess, man. Life's a mess. And just get me in the ring, man. He might do well with maybe discovering that thoughts may not be real. You know what I mean? In fact, they may all not be real. Anybody in my chat has discovered that? Have you discovered that all of them are not real? I mean, I'm not saying I have. It would just be nice to speak to someone who has. But I do suspect, very strongly that they are all lies, in fact. They always do that for motivational speeches. What was I saying? I guess putting the picture together. What have I painted here so far? Nobody cares, right? The picture so far. The border, all the way to the Supreme Court. The women in there throwing a wrench, and the man. Poetic, almost emblematic of where the individual American male has gone wrong in his own life. the saga and the RINOs. And then the people desperate, you know. I look around and, you know, I find it hard to like not get excited a little bit sometimes. And it's not, I really don't think it's a shallow excitement of like action. But when I look politics, I look at around the GOP, Democrats, I see online influencers, talking heads and people, the conservative movement online or whatever. I guess that includes me. Not sort of. And it's hard to see have any good or love anywhere there. But it's hard not to feel a little excited when I see Trump and I see what's going on. It's just a win after win. And it's like it's like all of Satan and his whole army risen up, but it's just win after win. Challenger after name just falling in line. You see all these people, they're dropping out of the race now. Now New Hampshire's today, right? New Hampshire in this grand primary of the GOP, which everyone knows who already won. It's hard not to get excited to see what's going on. I want to maybe paint this picture better as we move forward here towards the rest of the show. 888-775-3773. I do see your calls coming in, and I will get to you. And super chats and all that. But we'll paint this picture as we go. Speaking of working hard, though, what do you guys think? When this comes up, economy, working hard, you got to do 2 jobs, like Sean Strickland saying, and then you got to have a drag, and that whiskey looks so good because you just don't make money. I wonder sometimes about this topic. And you guys know I don't deny that there's some shenanigans with the economy. Greedy people. But I'm looking at this tweet here from Lauren Southern. And I think she's Canadian, right? Canadian, Lauren Southern? One of these conservative influencers online. Not one of the ones I was talking about necessarily. But conservative, Lauren Southern. Absolutely, she writes, absolutely surreal having conversations with friends who can hardly afford rent, don't vacation, and work 24/7 about whether or not they have enough money left in their bank account to afford taxes this year. Abolish income tax. And although I don't disagree with that, abolish income tax, I always wonder when this topic comes up, what's really like, I bet you it's a combination. Shenanigans, economic, it's not the same American dream. It's been pilfered, not the same American dream of your parents, but people not working smart. People truly not working smart. They don't even know what that means. They don't know that you could do that. Or they don't even know what working means. I know this is a dumb video I'm about to show you, but it might kind of make my point a little bit. They're doing these man on the streets. They do these man on the street videos with these college people, and they're dumb. They're supposed to be in universities and colleges and all that, and they're always, maybe they're cherry picked or something. But I doubt it. Some part of me tells me it's not that hard to find people like this. And they're always dumb. They ask them simple questions, anything. They're asking them in this video about working harder and working hard and billionaires and Elon Musk and such. Let's just watch a little bit.
You don't think Elon Musk works hard?
No, he's literally a Nepo baby. He's like the definition of a Nepo baby. So
you actually don't think Elon Musk works hard running Tesla, having Neuralink, having SpaceX, running Twitter. Now he has Starlink internet.
He spends all his time on Twitter and just tweeting people. So, I mean, I really don't.
Do you think you work harder than Elon Musk?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I do.
One thing I will say is...
We don't need to watch the rest of this. They're just being dumb, the rest of this. And that's from... I don't know who these people are. So this person just posted this person's content. But we saw the content. I'm wondering, Lauren Southern, is your friend who's complaining, who may have fair complaints, don't get me wrong. But I'm wondering if your friend who's complaining here, friend who can hardly afford rent, doesn't vacation, works 24/7. Nobody works 24/7. Nobody works 24/7. Like, and I'll expand on what I mean by that. But look, I'm wondering if Lauren Southern's friend here is one of these people who thinks they work harder than Elon Musk. Here's the funny thing about that is that there's people who think they work harder than Elon Musk probably do because they're stupid. working, and I'm stupid. I'm coming at this hard because I have a judgment on myself, and I'm traumatized. And this is why you shouldn't have hate and anger. Overcome anger. But look, I'm stupid too. Look, there's so much people who work hard, and you just spin your wheels, and you're such a hard worker. You sweat, but you do nothing. You get nothing done. It's nothing. It's nothing. You got to work smart. That's why you're not Elon Musk. You got to work smart. You got to be useful. Okay? So I'm wondering, Lauren Southern, if your friend is useful. If your friend is useful, and are they watching Dave Ramsey and saving their money? I just don't know. Maybe I should do my job, huh? Instead of saying, I don't know, I wonder when this topic comes up, I wonder if it's what's the ratio here? Is it the economy, or is it just a bunch of Zoomers and millennials who just don't know what work is? Yeah, maybe I should stop talking and do my job and get the figures, and do a segment where I find out for you. How about that, huh? Let's leave that topic to that one. Maybe I'll do my job for once and figure that one out, huh? I think that's a nice way to wrap that one up. But what do you guys think? You're stupid for not inheriting $1 billion. LOL. Obviously not what I said, Eric. But maybe your parents are stupid. Maybe. If they were smart, they would have been in a family of smart people that have billions of dollars that keep inheriting onwards and so on. Let me see what chats say right now, because I want to move on to something else here. And I see your calls as well, and I do appreciate it. 888-775-3773. And super chats too, I believe. We got super chats. We'll do all that. So bear with me while I log in here to Das Super Chats. Because you can send me one at buymeacoffee.com/anchorbaby. You can do it on YouTube. You can send me a Rumble rant on Rumble. And I also have D-Live, which I wasn't checking yesterday, but I have some amazing people here who caught some diamonds and such, because you can support me over there on D-Live as well. DLive.tv/𝒔𝒂𝒎. Okay, so let's see if we could do this. Let's do this one at a time. Let's not get confused here. Bear with me. Okay. Step one. What's chat saying? So this is what running your own thing looks like. Generic hit sound. Generic hit sound. Someone types in my chat. You mean, is that what you mean? You mean, I think that's what you meant. Everything is fake. I think you meant whoosh. Yeah, so chat's chilling. Strickland must talk to Jessie. Hey, that's a good idea, y'all. I bet you Daniel would do great work with that. On Fallen State? You think Sean Strickland would do it? Daniel, you listening? Get Sean Strickland on. But yes, so chat's solid. Chat's happy. Fat and sassy. Chat's laughing. Rumble's laughing. We got some coffees here. And I may be stalling, and you may be correct, because I'm being a boomer with technology. Carver bought a coffee, says, do they work or not work? Because they are pursuing their dream of being in a band or painting or something and call that work. Also, I disavow grown men playing video games, but seriously, get the experts to play Gauntlet together. Do they work or not work? Because they are pursuing their dream. Well, there's work in pursuing your dream, but you also got to work. What are you talking about? Are you talking about people who've been pursuing their dreams for decades? It's like I don't know. I don't know about that. Bear with me. And I got some D-Live stuff here. That's a diamond from Henry Ford Lives. Thank you. Says, here are some shekels for you. Thank you, friend. Appreciate the support there. I had some coffees here yesterday from Hake, the Hake Report. And they were hidden for me because I had to be logged in. He had sent me a link with Arsenio Hall and everything. And I forgot what he even said. What was even the point? I remember I mentioned Arsenio Hall. But he sent me some coffees there. Oh, he was doing the monkey sounds. Okay, we got it time-stamped here. You got a podcast yesterday's show for the moment, but we got it time-stamped on the at the ready here, thanks to the Hake Report with the fine coffee there. Arsenio Hall, monkey sounds at the beginning of his show. If Arsenio Hall's cool with it, the FIFA players should be cool with it. I remember now. It was the FIFA players. And the FIFA's all mad about the racism. And the players, they're doing monkey whoop sounds to the black soccer players trying to get in their heads. You know, they're the opposing team, huh? You're trying to get in their heads. It's a fight. It's a war. But, you know, neutered and made into a game where you kick a ball around. But it's fun. And these black players, they're getting monkey sounds, they're getting banana peels thrown at them. So FIFA's cracking down. If it's cool with Arsenio, it should be cool with FIFA. Huh? What a mess. Super chats here from Matthew. Thank you. Oh, yeah, and I failed to comment here. Carver, I have not forgotten about the Xbox Gauntlet. Did a little research there. I think we can make it happen. Matthew with a super chat says, can we just make ice great again? Can we just make ice great again? Trump 2024. Thank you for that, Matthew. Appreciate the support, everybody. And Rumble and everything. Okay. So now we're happy. Now we're solid. Let's get to a call here. Justin, Fullerton, California, before we move on here. Appreciate your call, sir. You're on the air.
Appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
No problem.
I think your FIFA comment is interesting, the way you perceive Arsenio Hall, which was one of the greatest shows I saw, you know, growing up.
Wait, what do you mean? What's interesting about it?
It's the dog pound, you know? So that's what he was trying to get. Like, I think the terminology was getting popular. So in his dog pound or the peanut gallery, whatever, that group is kind of not so much like, hey, batter, 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 or like oink, 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 or whatever.
They're called the dog pound. You're saying Arsenio Hall's show had a...
I bet you a cup of coffee, yeah.
Oh, so you're saying this is a feature of his show. A feature of his show was there was a people in the crowd or whatever known as the dog pound, and they would whoop like this.
That's why you may have heard him say "down boy" or "good boy."
And the dog pound would chirp and heckle Arsenio a little bit.
Nah, they weren't too much of a heckler.
Okay,
group,
I misunderstood that part, but I gotcha. They're the dog pound. Hake is very funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We were talking about FIFA yesterday, and the players getting. Like they're saying that's racist. There's their opposing team's fans are making monkey sounds towards the black players, and I knew something inside told me that when Hake super chatted yesterday on my show and said that Arsenio Hall used to get monkey sounds at him at the beginning of his show, so it should be fine. Something inside told me that it's probably not quite monkey sounds. that it was maybe something else.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess
so it's the dog pound. I gotcha.
Yeah, but with the FIFA people, I mean, or even like how Dana White said, you know, when there's supposed racism out there, it's just, you know, like if they're from Africa, I mean, they're going to be hearing a lot of things, you know. But I don't know about the whole banana peels and all that kind of stuff because that's kind of getting overboard, and you know, people have their own perceptions about humanity. But yeah, I mean, how people are people, they just get a different level of racism, you know.
Levels of racism. What do you mean?
I wouldn't say discrimination or like that, because even Dana White was talking about it. That's actually why I called. Let me just get to that part.
Yeah.
So have you heard of the 10X Health?
Wait, what's
Dana
that?
White's on?
10X Health?
Yeah, it's to optimize your body. And
it's a diet that Dana White is on?
Yeah, and he was in his 50s kind of thinking, what am I going to do? And I was just thinking what you were mentioning with Strickland is kind of like his leadership's trickling down because I forget the doctor's name, but his doctor did a blood work. That's really because they always look at the blood
of
the fighters. Dana White's doctor.
Dana White's doctor did Dana White's blood work.
Yes, and I believe
and you're saying
Cardone
I'm just trying to just summarize, just because I was having trouble following. So yeah, so you're talking about his doctor and his diet 10X. You're saying he's a leader in the UFC. You're seeing his leadership trickle down in reference to the way he handles his health.
Yeah, and like Strickland talking about, everybody's working so much, they come home, all they want to do is crack a beer or smoke something. It's like the internal blood work that they do tells you, whatever your calories and your proteins are and stuff, and it optimizes your health. And supposedly he did it within 10 weeks.
You're saying 10X does this?
What was it?
You're saying the 10X program does this?
Yes. And I think it's getting popular. It's very expensive to get your blood work. I don't have like $600, but
to get a full screen. I watch some of these YouTubers who are on gear and they have to get like blood work. It's expensive, but I want to do it too.
Yeah, it does like your gene work. So basically your genetics, everyone can do their own individualized genetic makeup test, whatever you call it, and then the doctor, whoever his is, can, or whoever you put in whoever you trust in your life for your health, can analyze it and then tell you where you're lacking and what nutrients, blah blah blah. Then you're going to be overall a lot more healthier. Yeah.
So are you on like 10X or something like that?
No. I'm looking into it, researching it, and it was funny you talked about Strickland. So I was like, yeah, maybe.
Oh, so you wanted to mention Dana White's diet there, and it seems to you, from what you could tell, it seems like a good idea, like it's a positive thing.
Yes, especially in that top level athlete division that you might want to be in. You just don't know what's best for you. So what's good for your health and your heart.
So what were you saying about that? That's the leadership he's showing?
Yeah, I believe it's kind of like trickling down. And so not so much Strickland, but Dana White is standing up for America and men to be healthy and take control of their life as they age or as they get, beat up and worn out,
So what do you do with 10X? Do you just eat different?
Well, yeah, it comes to a diet, and
what makes 10X different than just eating normally?
Yeah, a lot of people can just eat whatever they want to eat, and they're thinking they're doing a certain diet for a certain thing, but they're not consulting their doctor that's looking at their genetic makeup and their blood work to kind of see, after they test it again and again and again, is it getting better? Are you improving in the blood work?
So it's like it's a very in-depth observation of your body metrics, blood work, etc., and you use those as your guiding light here in developing nutrition and health for the person, I guess, that's in this. I'm following. Yeah. What do you think about Sean there and what are you saying? Oh, it's so bad. I'm making him sound way more beta than I really want to, though, to be honest.
It's very hard for people to look at it and say, oh, you're being a victim, a complainer, or you're trying to do something about it. But I mean, it's obvious he's found out that there's a lot of players, people that, he works around, other athletes that are just, lacking. So he's following in that leadership of Dana White.
Leadership? That's the leadership? Oh,
yeah,
was that a smoke alarm beep in the background?
No.
Oh, I thought I heard this. I thought I heard the squeak of I thought I heard the chirp of a smoke alarm in the background. I'm sorry, I must be just hearing them now.
No, I'm in my car. Maybe you heard a beep or something.
My brain I think my brain is just adding them in now.
Smoke detector. Everyone check your smoke detectors now.
That chirp means you got to handle something. Right on, Justin. Appreciate that, man. Yeah, wish you well with your health. I felt like I was going to ask you something, but I forgot.
You well, and Trump 2024.
Let's go. Right on. Call me again. Yeah. I don't know anything about 10X. Blood work. That'd be cool to get done. What I was looking it up too. Like to get a full screen like some of these athletes do. Something like what, $700 at one of these labs nearby? $900? Basic. Comprehensive. Ooh. $1,000. $1,567 at this lab. But they're doing a major deal. A major one-time out of nowhere deal. 75% off. $400. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. Getting blood work done. I forgot what I was going to say. You could call in 888-775-3773. You could call. You could super chat, buymeacoffee.com/anchorbaby. We are talking Trump. Since we're talking Trump, you know, New Hampshire primary and all that's going on today. It's only Haley versus Trump now. Everybody knows it's Trump. He won everything. That's obvious, especially after Iowa. The media and many thought DeSantis would drop out then. I remember seeing reporters and all that. He ends up dropping out over the weekend. Haley going strong here. Vivek dropped out. I told you about that already. And they're all endorsing Trump, getting in line. They're saying he's the guy. I saw the DeSantis, he put out a video just endorsing Trump and all that. And so you're going to see all that. You're going to see everybody behind Trump. You're going to see a whole bunch of that. Haley, too. DeSantis saying, oh, right, because he's like the Trump pick who's not Trump. Haley's the one saying, oh, America wants someone else. She's saying they want a choice. America wants a choice. In New Hampshire, she was on Fox and Friends, talking with that Ainsley Airhead, as Jesse calls her. Two women talk about nothing. And just arguing. She's asking Haley, aren't you worried? You should be worried, right? Basically that. Haley's like, no, Americans want a choice. New Hampshire will show that. As if Iowa didn't already. DeSantis saying, well, he's the outsider. Insiders fighting for insiders has to stop. That he's the outsider. If summarizing his video there. Haley will be saying it too. Watch, they'll all fall in line. But they're talking about Tim Scott here. I know Hake already talked about this too. They're talking about Tim Scott. I know I heard Hake was unsure if he had gone on his knee. Now, apparently, throughout his show, him and his audience were made aware that Tim Scott did, in fact, get on one knee and propose. Here's that picture, if you didn't see it. There we have footage. We have picture-proof photo evidence. Tim Scott on his knee for his new wife, new bride-to-be. That's the news. She said yes. Trump praises this situation here. I mean, let me show you this. Let me duplicate this. You know about this already a little bit. But he did go on one knee. Beta. He did, in fact, go on one knee. Go down on one knee. Swearing his allegiance. Oh, my gosh. What the heck is this picture? Who took this picture? What kind of picture is this? What the heck? What a horrible picture. Oh, man. Gonna eat the competition. It's his wife. Interracial. I wonder what his mother thinks. You must hate your mama. You must hate your mama. Boy, you must hate your mama. Bringing home all these white girls. Tim Scott. I heard on the Hake Report that she has kids. She already has kids. What a mess. And some of you got this theory here about this woman being a beard. Whatever you guys saying about, I don't know, whatever that he's. They say a beard is a woman you marry so that people don't say you're gay or whatever, right? Politico.com. This is a congratulations from President Donald Trump. Congratulating Tim Scott here. Trump called Ramaswamy, who led a Vote Trump chant, a dynamo, and he congratulated Scott on his engagement, telling the crowd he's engaged to be married. We never thought that was going to happen. I don't know. Some might say that is him calling attention to Tim Scott possibly being gay and this is a beard or whatever. But isn't that what you say? Isn't that what you say about people who get married a little older? Tim Scott, how old is he? Tim Scott, age. Tim Scott is politician. Give me the age, Wikipedia. Come on. I'm doing a live show, Wikipedia. Come on. Give me the age. Give me the age. And the age is like 50-something, no? 58. Timothy Eugene Scott, 58. I mean, that's what you say, right? Some of you conspiracy, come on. Trump wasn't saying he was gay. That's just what you say about someone who gets married at 58. We never thought it was going to, nobody thought it, we didn't think it was going to happen, but he's doing it. He's making it happen. So Trump congratulated him there. She already has kids. What a mess, right? What an absolute mess. I'm also bringing this up because there's this nasty rumors, these nasty beard rumors, also center around another kind of rumor, which has to do with picking the vice president. And I've heard some of these rumors already. And this is that Tim Scott getting married now, the timing having to do with all this right now, has to do with Tim Scott possibly being the vice presidential pick. And I don't know, Mr. President, President Trump, if you're listening. Just like Amy Coney Barrett crying about George Floyd and being a woman, having a husband and kids and doing what she's doing, should be disqualifying. Your VP pick should be disqualified on being a simp and going on his knee. Okay, maybe everybody does that. Maybe that's not fair. But don't do it, Mr. President. VP picks, because this is a problem. Many people had this problem with Trump. Personnel, it has to do with personnel. Okay, I have a clip here before I move on to personnel and the people who have a vendetta against Trump. I had a clip here. I don't remember why I wrote this down, but I wrote down Tim Scott. I wrote Tim Scott right after being endorsed by Trump. Oh yeah, look at this. I guess we don't need to get into this, but after being endorsed by Trump, he goes on CNN and he talks about, he doesn't seem to totally endorse Trump that hard. He sides with CNN on these birther attacks or some crap. But we can move on from that. There's people who had a vendetta against Trump when it has to do with personnel. Vendetta. Maybe vendetta is not the word, but they had a problem with Trump and the administration, 2016, and personnel. Speaking of VP picks and all that, right? And I mean, there's no what should we call it? It's not a secret. It's not a secret that the Trump administration was full of like RINOs and people who were against him and against the whole movement from the get-go. The whole establishment has come out like the whole wasp nest. The whole wasp nest is out, buzzing at the prospect of Trump here. And so people were frustrated. And so this personnel thing is an interesting thing to talk about. It's not going to be like that again. He wants to order 66 all these people in the government. Get them out. I don't think people are as unaware like the first time around. You know what I mean? I saw this Fox News. They did a man on the street. Might as well show you this. Based boomer, I'd say maybe. They went around asking people about VP picks. What do you think? They're asking the public, Foxes, well, who do you want as a VP pick? There was I think a boomer maybe. Base boomer, possibly maybe Gen X or something. I thought he was pretty based. In his mature response to DeSantis as a VP pick. But I'm trying to show you this video here on the fly. I don't have it saved, just showing it to you on X. So I'm having Elon try and load it for me on the fly. Come on, Elon.
Everybody's talking about 4 more years. What does 4 more years mean to you?
Heaven. Compared to this, heaven. Unity.
Right on, MAGA moms. MAGA moms. Okay, let me show you. Let's see, where was it? Because it's like a whole long video. We didn't need to watch this whole thing. Is this a based MAGA Asian dad?
No. And no good. No.
I think they're talking about Sununu. No good.
No. What do you think of Nikki Haley?
It's really important that we unite as Republicans.
Everything that I've learned about her, I just think she's kind of crooked.
Unite as Republicans. I'm with this one. I'm with this based lady.
You see us outside.
I'm kind of showing you this too because it feels a little bit like we're sometimes deeper into these topics a little bit, and then there's kind of like you call them normies, but I don't know about this normie talk. Lately, I've been thinking about normies, and just like Hake, who had the perfect response to all this boomer hate. I don't know about all this normie hate, but we'll get to that another day. I think here's the base boomer.
The governor of this state.
This guy, jean jacket boomer.
Nikki Haley.
He's just a total rhino.
It's a betrayal.
What's his last name?
Sununu.
Nunu.
Right? You can beat Trump. Nobody can beat Trump.
Okay, yeah, DeSantis.
He was smart.
DeSantis as VP.
DeSantis dropped out and endorsed Trump.
Finally, I think that he was just shooting himself in the foot.
See that?
He was smart.
Ron 2028.
If he sticks with Trump and learns from him, that might be good.
If he sticks with Trump 2028, okay, it might be good.
What was Ron DeSantis thinking? You can beat Trump. Nobody can beat Trump.
He's a true conservative. But we're always going to remember that you betrayed a friend.
He's a true conservative, but we'll always remember you betrayed a friend. I mean, I kind of like that. It's kind of sober-minded, mature. Like, yeah, he's a great governor. He really was. But he's not the answer here. Have you been paying attention to the story, DeSantis? Anyways. Are you even paying attention, man? But that's just, I guess, messing around here, riffing on 2024, what may happen, what's to come, and all this mess, right? I was saying earlier, I find it hard not to get excited, though. And it has some space to it. It's not like an excitement of seeing a rally or the thrill of it's just something tells me, something deep inside. And I can't always put it into words, and I try on this show. I definitely try, and with stats and news stories, something. But something tells me that what's going on with Trump and the movement, let's call it the movement, and MAGA, and there's something about the hand of God in there a little bit. The hand of God in there is involved, and it really is. When I look across the landscape, it's all gray, but there's a little glimmer of light and a little glimmer of love in this MAGA Trump stuff going on. And it's not about economics and all that have to do with it, but legal battles and culture war and the Constitution. It has to do with the Constitution, but I'm trying to differentiate what these people like DeSantis and all that, the establishment are, what they're like, and what Trump means. What Trump is like and what he means to the people. And it's not like we're gonna make everybody love each other. It's not like we're gonna eradicate hate. It's just when I look around at what's being offered and what we're being told, and what the political establishments or whatever what they're offering. It's not like just to continue on that thought. It's not like we're gonna stop hate and get everybody to love each other. But Trump's not doing that. That's what these liars are trying to do: force people to love and force people to be. You know what I'm saying? Like and censor them and jail them. And if you say that's not love, there's all this censorship and jailing people and forcing people to associate and forcing people to love, and if you don't use the words and the terms and think the right thing, then you're a terrorist and whatever thing, or you're white or a man. And if you say that's not love, and you get enough people to agree with you, we're gonna go after you and your family and your money. And nitpick any little thing to try and get you in legal trouble here when we're a bunch of crooks. That's their side. Trump's not doing that. He's not, you got to love each other. But he wants to get the weeds out of the garden and just let things grow how they're supposed to. You can't force people to love. You can't make people love each other. But that's what these mamas are trying to do, this racism people. But imagine if you made things, truly fair, like got rid of the greedy parasites that are sucking the life out of the American public, the workers, these social classes in Washington and corporate firms who benefit from, they truly benefit from mass migration, wars, etc. Imagine getting rid of these parasites in these classes. You clear the field of weeds. Just let things grow, because what we got is what we got, and let it grow. And building on that, you would. Anger and hate and just negativity would be like a net negative. It would go down. You're not going to change hearts, fine, but isn't that a more pleasant and decent way of living? When your own individual life is going well, you can't help but be nice and all that. So he's not trying to force people to love. So when I look around, that's all I see. The only actual glimmer of light and actual true love is there. So it's hard not to get a little excited when I see DeSantis dropping out. You see the meme magic. You see the Trump haters, the ones who were like with him 2016, and their hearts, because they too also judge. They show you how they are no different from Democrats and haters, and showing us even more of this tapestry of this picture of what love is and what anger is and what's really going on. So it's hard not to get excited. You see the Trump haters, and then they're like, DeSantis is going to be the guy, and it's like DeSantis drops out. You're seeing the RINOs, the establishment, and all their big money wasted. The Democrats, the legal battles. January 6th happens. The media, they still love him. They still love the guy. Everything, and they still love the guy. The memes, the magic. I mean, it makes it's hard not to get excited.
Love, find common ground to hold the spread of lies.
To hold the spread of lies. What nice lyrics. So I got some callers here. 888-775-3773. Never be a never luncher. You don't want to be a never luncher. It's a bad reputation to have, by the way. Just commenting on what someone's saying in my chat. You don't want to be a never luncher. You definitely don't want to be a never luncher. It's a bad look. It's a bad reputation, and it just makes people not trust you. Okay? Makes people not trust you. Anything? What am I rambling on about? What am I saying? Did I make my point? Let's get to calls here. Let's get to super chats, calls. Yeah. Shouty. Yeah. Don't be a never luncher. We got Vicki. I got Vicki out of Texas, who's on the air. Appreciate it. Vicki, I think this is my friend Victoria.
It is.
What's up, Vicki? How you doing?
I'm doing well, really well. I wanted to talk to you. I know that I just watched a clip from someone else earlier about the VP pick, possible
yes.
picks for Trump. Trump all the way, by the way.
Duh.
Yeah. And I just really can't get on board with this Ramaswamy guy, Vivek. I can't do it. Like, he's got like the charisma that Obama did, and he speaks very eloquently. You know what I mean? And he's also, some of the things that I've heard him say, it sounds just like Obama, like word for word. And
I did see an old clip of him where I think he's like used some parts of an Obama speech or something like that. He really did sound like him.
Yeah, and it's been more than one, and that's kind of the first thing that kind of, set my antenna off on this guy. But the other thing, too, is that he took money from the Paul and Daisy Soros Foundation.
Oh, he did?
And, oh, yeah. And then when he was asked about it, he had been asked a few times about it, and he really never answered. He kind of like poo-pooed the question, and I found that to be weird because he's very outspoken, right? But I think it kind of threw him off guard, and this was kind of in the beginning of when he threw his hat into the ring. But now he has said that he had to have like $90,000, for school or whatever. But at the time that he did that, he was already worth millions and millions of dollars, and now he's a billionaire a few times over. And he's for big pharma, big into all that. And I can't get behind him. Like,
I know.
And a lot of people are saying that they're pushing, that they think Trump's going to choose this guy.
Oh, you think so for VP? I'm kind of with you. I don't know if I really like Vivek as VP, personally.
No.
I don't know. I don't even know who I'd want for VP. I can't think of a single name. Just like a Trump clone or something. I can't think of anyone. And the way I've seen the whole race and all that, I never really gave too much attention or importance to it. DeSantis, if it was Ramaswamy, Haley, or anybody, because we all know it was Trump. In my opinion, it's either. In my opinion, this whole primary thing has been about either you're with Trump, or you're just this person who's against. Like, that's really the whole primary has been about him, and
exactly.
So that's been my metric throughout the whole thing.
Right.
As this person actually with Trump or not. And DeSantis, Haley, they all were quite clear about it. They were repeating all the same things. We need a new choice. We need a Trump, but not Trump. He's too mean. And Ramaswamy was the only one who was kind of this like Trump proxy in the whole primary thing. So that's why I liked him. But I never gave it too much serious thought. I come to find a video where and this was like right before Iowa, where he's telling these voters, we need to save Trump from himself. We vote for me.
Yeah.
Like, for me, if you can be a Trump proxy, go be a Trump proxy in the primaries. But when it comes down to it, when the rubber meets the road, you tell, okay, I'm just playing. I'm just here to represent him. Go vote for him. And so, I personally don't really necessarily I don't even see him as a VP pick. But you know what I like about Trump? I like that he doesn't hold a grudge, and here's what I want to say about that. People like to say that he holds a grudge because he doesn't forget things, but I personally like that. He doesn't forget. He doesn't forget when people have revealed themselves and they haven't apologized or changed. Personally, though, I wouldn't say that he's a grudge holder, because when someone says sorry and falls in line and does it the right way, Trump wants to work with them. And I think there's a time and place for that. Like when what's his name? DeSantis and Ramaswamy endorsed Trump, he very kindly was like, well, yeah, these guys, they got my back. They're saying the right things. And as far as I'm concerned, up until this point, everything's hunky-dory. And so there's something I like about that.
Bygones right now, you know.
That's not to say you're not going to have an awareness, but if they're saying and they're acting right, like, you see what I'm saying here? Because the whole establishment, we're going to see this a lot. Sorry to keep just filibuster all over you, but
no, go ahead. We're
going to see a whole bunch of this as we continue with 2024 and beyond. You'll see the whole establishment do what they did in 2016. No, we're behind Trump. We're with him. And so there's something I like about Trump's attitude of, hey, if you're going to fall in line, then good. I'll work with you.
Right. And I think that's only fair. I think that's fair. I wanted to bring something else.
But far away, not don't let him touch VP. Somewhere else.
Yeah. Yeah, right. I've noticed a lot of Christian people saying that they like Trump, but they would vote for him, but they don't like the way he talks. And specifically the women and a couple of beta men or beta males, they use that one thing that Trump said a while back. Well, he didn't say what they say. They say that he said that he touched a woman by her kitty cat, right? And they don't like that. And they don't like the way he talks. But what he did say was that when you're a billionaire and you have a lot of money, like, women will throw their kitty cats at you. And that's not a lie. Okay, what he said is not a lie. Because I used to date a rock star at one time in my younger days. And when I was backstage, you should have seen the chicks that were backstage waiting for the guys to come off stage. And you could see the kitty cats flying everywhere, if you know what I'm saying. Like,
I'm following.
I watched it. And so for me, it's not a big deal. It's no big deal because I saw it personally. And women do that. When they see, you know, that kind of money, it's like they will do that, okay? And
if I could jump in, I mean, you know,
like,
what's the true part about what the real truth part about what you're saying is that everyone saw that.
Yeah.
The media and all that, he's a misogynist. He talks this way about women. That was one thing. But everybody saw what you're saying. Everybody knew that he was right and that he was correct. Unless you didn't know the exact quote and you were brainwashed by the media and you didn't quite catch it. Everybody who heard what he said and actually saw thought like you. Everybody. No, even people who maybe either you saw it or you're not being honest about it. And what's deep about that is that that's what people don't get. That's what people don't get. Yeah. That's what people like about him. Is that he's the guy who's just saying things. He's the guy, all that.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to just sit down with Trump and just, like, kick back with them and have a glass of wine and chill with them by the fire. And just, you know, because he reminds me, his spirit, he just reminds me a lot of my father, right? So it's like, I see a lot of my dad in him. So it's like, whoa, like I could really chill with him, you know?
With
and
your
I
bro?
know that I would get,
With your bro?
Yeah, man, totally. And it's totally like that. And it's like, you know, because he's down to earth, he's not afraid to, you know, say what he wants to say. And I like that about him too. But a lot of people just, when they hear the truth, you know, he's not always nice, but yet he's not evil at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I wanted to comment on that too. Anybody who I've ever heard say something like that, oh, he's right, but I don't like how he says it. Oh, he's or he could say it differently, or anyone who says that, I used to like leave a little space, but now I'm positive that those people just don't get it. They do not get it at all. Like, they just don't get it. They think they get it. They think they're like conservative. Oh, I'm a conservative. But they don't get Trump, and they don't get what's going on right now and why people like him, why people there. They truly don't get it. They don't see the spirit of things.
I wanted to ask you, too, have you ever been to one of his rallies?
Never. No, I've only ever seen him
my gosh.
online and stuff.
Like, my gosh. I've been to 2 when Dustin and I used to live in Arizona. And I'll tell you what, both times were like, I don't want to say life-changing, but there was something very special about the guy. And it wasn't just Dustin and I. It was everyone in there. Like, I think we were there at like 4 a.m. And it was
you were there with rock
airport.
stars.
Yeah.
Are you sure you weren't doing rock star things? That's why the moment. The moment was so divine. No, I'm messing with you.
Yeah, it was bigger than it was bigger than Rockstar, because I've been on that platform with my ex-boyfriend years ago. Okay, and I'm telling you, he came in on the first time he came in on a huge helicopter, a military helicopter, and there was a few that came in ahead of him, and then my husband was like, because he was in the Marine Corps for 15 years, he was like, oh, you're going to know when you hear that helicopter come in. So we heard this big, because we were at the Mesa Airport, and we could hear in Maricopa County, and we could hear this huge helicopter, and he was like, there you go. That's him. Okay, so
pretty cool.
When he arrived, it was insane. Like, just watching him walk across to the podium, like, we were only 4 rows back from where he was, so we could just literally almost reach out and touch him, right? And it was amazing. And his spirit, there was a sense of this spirit, and it wasn't a feeling, it was like a gut kind of, it was I just think that,
totally.
that I think he's divine. And the second time we saw him was exactly the same way. And when you hear grown men yelling, we love you, Trump, or I love you, Trump, when you hear grown men do that, it's kind of humbling, you know, because you can't help but not love the guy. It's a natural love. It's not a feeling. It's just sort of something that's just there.
Daddy's home.
I think that exact same feeling. Daddy's home.
Well,
and
right
so
on, Vicki.
me,
appreciate that.
So just
go on.
And when you go to the, you want me to hold?
No. I said go on. Finish up. My
and
bad.
when you go to the rallies ahead of time, there are people from all walks of life, different states, different cities, all different nationalities. There has the 2 times that we've been there has never been a problem. Not ever. Everybody's just all one. We talk to people who are there that really
Right
don't
on, Vicki.
know.
Appreciate that, Vicki. It sounds like it was a great time there. And I gotta
to go.
definitely I mean, hey,
try to
Trump, if you're
go.
listening, I want to meet you, sir. Right on, Vicki. I do appreciate that. I'm sure
Exactly.
the MAGA love energy is in the chat as well. Vicki, anything last thing you
hope
want to say
so.
before we move the wheels here?
No. Are we flying somewhere on Friday, though? Where are we headed?
I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure where, though, just quite yet. I know there's some people who want to go international, and I've been considering
Are you
that.
going international?
Yeah. There's people who are saying that.
All right.
There's
And
some
I
people who
also
are
wanna-
saying they're international this year, and I want to see if I can make that happen.
I want to let you know that the CEO of our ranch, like, he's a pilot and he has his own airplane. I'm going to have him call you one day, maybe Friday,
Dope.
and he's going to explain
I got
to you.
questions.
He's a colonel out of the U.S. Air Force. And so I want him to tell you that it's not flat, our Earth. It is
Nice.
round, and he will
Nice.
tell you why.
Right on. That'd be awesome, actually, Vicki. Let him
I'm
know.
going to
I
have
would
Drew do that.
Yeah, for sure. And if
Absolutely.
Have him do that. That sounds like it would be great. All right, Vicki.
Well,
Appreciate
you
it.
have a great day. Love you
Yep.
all. Tell Jesse hi. You know I love my bro. I love all you guys.
Big time.
You guys
Right on,
take
Vicki.
care.
Take care. Moving the wheels. She said, bro. Vicki, if you're listening, there was a running bet in the chat wondering if you were going to call some. I don't know if there was any specific bet, but if you would call someone bro, and you did, and so we love you, bro. I mean, brah. We love you, brah. I know I didn't get the bro. Jesse got the bro on my show. What a mess. That's crazy. Jesse got the "we love you, bro," but on someone else's show. The levels of encroachment and disrespect. I mean, I feel like Ukraine. I feel like the Crimean Peninsula. I don't know what to tell you, but maybe Steve out of New Jersey could tell us something here. What's up, Steve? You're on the air.
What's up, bruh?
What's up, bro? How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well, man. Doing well. Now, I had a question, but what Vicki was talking about like the high energy of Trump at his rallies and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Because it kind of makes me think, like, people have asked this question before.
We ain't never come down. That's all I'm hearing. I'm sorry.
Exactly. I'm all about the high energy. But, when people talk about, like, blood work and optimizing for, like, this perfect, quality of life and all this other stuff, I think about guys like Trump, and then I obviously think about, like, Jesus, too. Like, what was their hormonal profile and all the other stuff. And I think that you could optimize yourself all you want, like get blood work and do all this stuff, to which I did want to make a comment on that. But I think at the end of the day, there still is this underlying spirit, like, you talk about on your show and Jesse talks about all the time, well, all you guys do, that you can't really kind of create that through supplements. Like, even if you have the perfect physical, things and all the stuff lined up, like, you can't create that unless you've experienced life and you were able to then kind of put that into the world. And I think with Trump now, kind of what you were talking about before, I think him showing that love now is just coming from the experience of him being so far removed from his old life and the first presidency that now I think he has that space to show that. And I don't even know if he's doing it consciously. It's just that's naturally coming out of him, if you get what I'm saying.
That's an interesting point. Yeah, I can't disagree. That's an interesting thing to think about. I mean, when you say that, it just makes me think about the kind of person he is and from what I could tell. And, I mean, from what I could tell, it seems like he may have been this way for a long time. He's been like this for a long time. And what I mean is he listens to people. He works with people. So, I mean, that's just a part. I think it's just a part of I don't know, how he grew up or something.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I mean, I've heard him say,
and definitely what's been happening, this saga and everything has propelled him to another level of insight, I imagine.
Right. He says he doesn't exercise. He's not about all that stuff. He used to say he gets fueled off of stress, and that's kind of like his life force. So I guess you could say he likes the thrill of it. But even watching his videos recently, like, there's some change about him, and it kind of makes me always think that, because I called originally about blood work, because you can get blood work done all every day, every hour of the day, but you're still going to get different results every hour, because depending on what you were doing the hour before or during that time when you're getting it, it's just a snapshot of what was going on in your body at that time. There's only very few long-term markers that you can get from that stuff. So that's why it's like you really can't even go off of how you're feeling physically, because you could still show up in the moment and you could still feel like crap and be able to just be present and see what to say and do. And I think that's what, as he's getting older, I'm seeing him do that. And I know a lot of the commentary that people say is, oh, he still did this, he still said that. They're kind of going against him, but give the man some room. Maybe he actually may change in that aspect.
Interesting things to think about. There's something I like about, because just commenting on what you're saying here, blood work and all that, and the people just obsessed and granular and getting any return they can get out of I don't know, eating a certain way or whatever. There's something I like about these. What do I say? How do I describe this? There's a sort of archetype, and I even have sort of examples, people in my life that fit this sort of archetype. And it's like you got this one person, this obsessor, and worried, and they end up living less than the person who was smoking a little, like drink, you know what I mean? Like maybe unhealthy, but they were happy their whole lives. They were without, not happy, but without obsessing and stress like that. There's something funny and godly almost, where it flies in the face of the demonic obsessor who's trying to control everything, and then they look over, and there's this guy who eats burgers, who eats McDonald's. There's this guy who eats McDonald's, and he may be he's old and breathes heavy sometimes because he's maybe a little bit fat. He's like, and I saw, but he's killing it. He's looking great. He's speaking amazing. Am I making sense here?
No,
there's another, 100%. There's something else fueling him, and so the obsessor is wondering, I must got my macros wrong. I must have not gotten the formula right. I'll get it right eventually. There's something funny about that.
It's a very intellectual approach, and I can say that from experience. Always focusing like, I didn't take the right supplements at this point, so I can't do this, or this is going to happen and that's going to happen. Just worry. And that's why I realized when I used to get blood work, which was, hold on a second, this is just a snapshot of how I was at that moment, or kind of going into it. And it never really kind of gave me the full picture of, no, this is what's actually going on. You may have felt good this way because you were doing this and doing that. You felt bad because of all that. But to be unaware of why you're that way in the first place, and then try to optimize it and do everything else, but then you can't have a normal conversation with somebody. And then you can't just go ahead and just live your life like you were saying. I think that's the better approach. And it's like the big point I wanted to at least see what you thought of was, at least with blood work, it also depends on who's interpreting it, because you could have a lot of people that they get your results and they interpret it the wrong way. They give you this one thing and then you run with it, and you're like, oh wow, I've got high testosterone, I've got high this, I got high that, but then you also might have a lot of other things that are just as bad that aren't promoting the use of it. But yet you could still be worrisome and still have high testosterone. You could still be very weak-minded and, subjected to a lot of things.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
No, it's a shallow thing. It's not the spirit. You're absolutely. I see what you're saying here. I mean, it's a physical thing. I mean, personally, how I see it, it's a metric. It's a metric. And when I'm saying I want to get some blood work done, it's not this. You got to understand that my mentality in my life is I'm the expert. I've always seen everything like this, and I'm not saying I'm a doctor, but I would like, out of just curiosity and autism, because I just like these kinds of things, I'd like to know the testosterone per deciliter. I'd like to know these different metrics, because I kind of know somewhat about these things, and it might give me a picture on things that I'm interested about my body and health, that I'm not saying others need to understand, because look, let's be real. You do that kind of stuff when you're sick. You know what I mean? Like, I need blood tests, I need blood work. That's what sick people do. I remember asking someone recently for advice on like health. Not that I'm having any issues, but I could see how I might start having issues, like stomach issues, for example. And I realized as soon as I asked that I shouldn't have even asked, because why would I even ask if I'm not serious? Like, why would I ask about, why would I ask about my blood work, and if a certain amount in my blood means this, if I'm not serious about being healthy and just living a clean life? If I just did that, I wouldn't have to worry about the other thing. So that's what you do if you're sick, right? You see what I'm saying? But when I'm talking about getting it done for myself, it's because I'm the expert in my life. And so someone like Trump, I can imagine, has people that does that for him. But he's the one who makes the final decision. Yeah, I have doctors and they'll tell me certain things, but I'm the expert in my life, and that's why I'd want to get it done. So obsessing is retarded. I totally agree. And it's not going to make you free.
No, it definitely won't, because so one thing I've come across in the past couple of years is learning about like thyroid health, and I never really knew about this. Even when I used to be a healthcare professional, I never really nothing set my mind off to say, hey, pay attention to this. But then, overcoming the anger and the emotions and all the other stuff like that just kind of led me in that direction. But this is even what I've realized with it. Even if you have a natural production of all these hormones, and even if your body's producing everything fine, everything's low, this and that, all it's really giving you, in my opinion, is the space to live without having to deal with all the other stuff. But if you're unable to deal with the fact that you have these emotional attachments or you have these obsessions with things in the first place, you could be perfect health 100%, you know, for like let's say for 3 weeks. But if that one little thing comes along and sets you off track, you're going right back. The thoughts are coming back. All the memories are coming back. And at that point, then you start obsessing. You start doing all the other stuff. So the physical health may give you the space to see what's going on, but it still doesn't help the overcoming and then being in the moment and like actually relying on God to say, hey, you don't need to do this. You don't need to say that. Like what you were saying about asking a friend for health advice. Like you don't need to say these things. That to me, after all this stuff that's where I personally am focusing myself. That's why, you know, the whole blood worth stuff is just, like you said, it's just a metric, but it doesn't define everything.
Yep. Testosterone and macronutrients and collections of it in the blood that's not discovering the spirit of Satan and ego. Two different things. They have their relations, but interesting stuff.
Yeah, I'm shaking right now. I got to go get my B vitamins, Nick. I'm freaking out, man.
You'll be peeing neon, but you'll be healthy according to Google. Right on, Steve. Appreciate your call.
Most expensive pee in the world.
Yes, sir. All right on.
Yeah, man.
Call me again, sir. Moving those wheels. Moving those wheels. I'm doing Trump faces for those listening. Someone bought a coffee, says $3 for a coffee. Dang, that's so expensive. Next time you get lemons on D-Live. Thank you, someone. You know, they were $5. I guess I got to make them $1. That way you could buy as many of them as you want. But hey, a $3 coffee is pretty cheap compared to some coffees I'm seeing out here. I do appreciate it though. Someone you can support any way you wish on D-Live. Leave a comment, leave it whatever you can, and see fit, see that I deserve, and all these things, whatever. Rumble.com/American Anchor Baby. We're going international, Mildew Grew. What, you find that funny, Mildew Grew? What's funny about that? Do you think that's a joke? Mildew Grew in my Rumble chat? What's a joke about? What's comedic to you about that? We're going international. I don't know what you know. I don't know what you think is a joke about that. I'm not even speaking English today. I can't even repeat that, Matthew. $3 coffee, kind of standard. Thank you. I'm sorry. Let's move on. What a mess. We're going international, okay? And by that, I mean we might take an international flight on Anchor Baby Airlines this Friday. Don't miss it. You want to be subscribed. You want to be hitting the notification bells. That way you don't miss when the flight takes off. Matthew with the super chat there says, Nick just trying to get Mark to call in right now. I'm really not. We're going international. Appreciate that, Beta Legs. I do appreciate that. All right, might as well. How about this? Exciting videos. Wake up. You had your afternoon slump. You've been listening to the Anchor Baby. You fell asleep. You got to be doing work. Wake up. We got exciting videos. Things exploding. Wake up. It's an afternoon slump. And you fell asleep. No, this is not an invasion force. No, this is not. This is not a sustained campaign. This is not the sustained campaign in Gaza. This is a warehouse of fireworks going off in downtown Los Angeles. Imagine living near this. Apparently this went off for like 5 minutes. What kind of warehouse is this? What kind of place are we running around here, huh, folks? My dream is to travel the world. Second option is doing it with Nick. Well, thank you. OMG, I was right, LOL. This is not the sustained campaign in the Middle East. No, this is California, Los Angeles. And I don't know what kind of place they're running around here, folks, but if you look at these missing bolts on this plane that was about to take off, it might give you a little bit of a clue. And no, I don't want to hear any Nick Stream slandering on this story here. NYC bound flight canceled when passenger notices missing bolts on a plane wing. I'm a good flyer, but my partner was not loving this information. Anyways, this is what the story is telling us. Disclose.tv. Imagine that. About to take off, but you're seeing bolts. Excuse me, flight attendant. I think something's wrong here. I spy a little problem with the plane wing. They caught it, though. Canceled the flight right away. Virgin Atlantic, New York-bound Virgin Atlantic flight on board flight VS-127. I thought it was best to mention it to a flight attendant to be on the safe side. An Airbus A330 aircraft before its scheduled takeoff. Maybe that explains it, huh? Incredible things. But the excitement doesn't end there. You still asleep? Well, I'm sure the people in this quaint little neighborhood were woken up when this sliding fire... You liking this segment? It's totally like daytime news. When this fire truck came barreling through their neighborhood and they totally woke up. You like this little ending segment here? I'm kind of doing it. It's kind of a bit almost at this point. And I'm sure this neighborhood woke up when this happened. Oh my God. I almost need like a boing sound effect. Boing. That's what this segment is. Here's another view of this. I think they swear. So cover your little bambinos' ears.
Holy shit! Holy
Oh my God. Why do people scream like that? Why do they say, oh my God? Like maybe if someone was hurt, but.
Oh my God! Ice, man! Why are they coming? Oh shit! Holy shit!
It's ice, okay? It's icy. It's winter for some in the Midwest as they see a barrage of winter weather. Snow packed the northern U.S. last week. That could now mean danger of flooding down the Mississippi. Well, we're wishing you well, us people here in California and elsewhere where we're not dealing with the snow and the ice. People say "wow" in the chat. This is actually Nick Stream footage. Okay, that's enough. That's enough. We're having fun here. I don't know why you got to make it all political and Perfect Citizen. I mean, that's pretty much the show, folks. That's American Anchor Baby for today. I appreciate the calls, the super chats, the stories. We did them all. I keep sliding down in my chair. Look, this is what I do. Look, are you seeing this right now? People comment on this. When I relax and sit down on a chair, I go down like this. I'm sure it doesn't look comfortable to anybody else but me, but that's why my head started up here at the beginning of the show and it was down there at the end. But let's end this. Let's end this show, blow this popsicle stand. I'll see y'all tomorrow on Wednesday. Manhood Hour on the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. Joel Friday. We got Hake Report and American Anchor Baby, as we do. Oh, wait. Hold up. One quick refresh. Make sure I don't miss anything here. I'm out, y'all. Peace. See y'all tomorrow. Bye.